Good morning, traders. This is a live trade recap. I took 2 trades this morning, both between 9:30 and 10 a.m. I have them on video. We're going to go over them right now. But even more than that, a real special thing I'm going to show you today is my trading routine step by step, what I do every single day before I start trading, because it's really important to have a consistent routine. Otherwise, you will not be a consistent trader and you won't know if what you're doing really works or not, because you're not doing the same thing every day. So the very first thing that I do is, one thing I won't show you is that I start with a restart of the computer, or I have the computer shut down from the previous day and I start it fresh. Same thing with my laptop. Unfortunately, I can't show you my laptop on this screen, but I restart my laptop and then I open up Webull 5.0 on the laptop and I set it to my customized screener page, and that's pretty much set. I have to change this from pre-market because at 9 a.m. it'll be in the pre-market, change that to 1 day. So now that's all set and I can just leave it like that. If the market opens and I don't feel like these lists are refreshing properly on the laptop, I can just close it down and restart it and it opens right back up to this view, and then I know what I'm seeing is more accurate. Sometimes you have to do that 2 or 3 times because there's a little transition period, I guess, between 9:30 and or the open itself. All right, so that's with the laptop. Now back to the desktop. I'm looking at my trading plan here, and I read through this every single day. Number one thing is to check the internet connection. So I run this little speed test. You can use whatever you like. It only takes a few seconds, and then you know for sure that your internet is working properly. If you have any glitches with your platform, then you know, okay, it's probably the platform and not my internet, and you might want to check your internet one more time, right after having those glitches to make sure that your internet isn't failing you. So number 2, read through the plan. We're doing that now. And then 3, check the hotkeys. Actually do that. I needed to switch the order around, but I added this later, so that's why it's number 3. But actually do that before I read my trading plan. I have a customized layout set up here based off of the stocks page. I kind of showed you how to do that in a few other videos. But basically what you have to do every single time you open up Webull and get ready to trade is you have to go over here and click Active Trade. Right click on active trade settings. Actually, you could just right click on active trade settings. You don't have to do the left click first. And then on your buy keys, you have to select these because they deselect for whatever reason on Webull 5.0. This used to not do this on the older versions, at least 3.0. But these will unselect themselves every time you close Webull, so you won't have your bracket orders if you use those with your hotkeys, and I do. So I reselect those and I change. This will be at 10, but I go ahead and retype in 10 just in case, because I've had some weird things happen in the past. And even though this says 20 right now, and it'll say 20 when this is unselected, when I reselect it, let me see if it does it right now. Yeah, it goes to 0, and then it goes back to 10. So I have to actually type in 20. Click done. Now I'm ready to trade. Of course, assuming the platform is unlocked, that's another thing that you have to do. Oh, and this is the little lag that happens anytime you trade any or change any active trade settings on, at least on this computer. I get that little spinning wheel of death kind of thing. But then of course you have to unlock your platform. Now your hotkeys are loaded and ready to go. You can go back to the chart page, and anytime that I click on a chart, if I trigger my hotkeys, it will throw out those bracket orders for me. So that's that. And then we read through the plan. I'm not going to read through it right now, but you can imagine me scrolling through this, and I read through everything here very actively. It's really important to pay attention while you're reading this plan and think about why you wrote what you wrote and what it means. What are the actual scenarios that play out, and the meaning behind what you've written. Don't just read it kind of while you're daydreaming about all the money you're going to make while you're day trading. And then read through the rules for sure. Of course, pay special attention to anything highlighted. The goal of the plan, that's more for you guys. And then I also write, I don't know why this looks like that right now. There we go. I also look at this kind of cartoon graphic of the ABCD pattern that I take to remind myself exactly what I'm looking for. So that's that. Now, at that point, I would be pulling up my 2R calculator and making sure that all that's clear. I just, took some trades this morning, so it's not clear right now. And then for me, I would pull up the screen recorder as well, which even if you're not YouTubing your trades, if you're not putting them up on YouTube, it's a good idea to record your trades, because then you can go back and see exactly what happened in real time. And you're really missing out as a learning trader if you're not doing that, whether or not you're sharing your videos or not. So now at this point, I would be looking at my screener on the laptop. So customize, so I'm looking at the screener, let's say it's 9:30, I've restarted a few times and I see the list looking the way that I want it to look. Now what I'm focusing on are the stocks that are on the active list here that are green, because then I know those are gapping up, and then I'll check those, like here's SPCE. The float size is too high, so this would actually have to be number one for me to look at it, because I'm only interested in about 100 million shares or less. But if it's the number one stock, it can be up to 500 million shares, because the float size has an effect on how much the price can move with the volume that is being traded on the stock. So if it's the number one traded stock, then it should have enough volume to still move even if it's a higher float size. That's why I have that 500 million share cap. But if it's below the number one spot, I just keep it around 100 million or less, and that way I guarantee that I get into worthwhile trades. For example, AMC is nowhere near the top spot, and it's below that 500 million shares, and you can see that it's not really moving much. It's already 1030, and it's only moved about 10%. So that's a good example there. On the other hand, CREX has moved 42%. Well, that's really also taking into account yesterday's closing position. So there's a little bit more to it than that, but you could see that it has a low float size, and it has made big moves. So that one went on there for sure. They also must be on the top gainers list, and an easy way to confirm that is if you look at the bottom top gainer, it's about 10%. So any of these that are above 10%, you know, are going to be on the top gainers list. Like AMC is not 10%, so it's not on the top gainers. So those are the three criteria. It must be on this list, it must be a low float size, and it must be on the top gainers list. That's it. Then if it meets those three criteria, it goes on my stocks page, which is a custom layout, and looks just like that. So then I just type in stuff as I need it, and that's it. So let's take a look at the trades that I took today. There were only 2 trades. They both failed, but there's still always some things you can learn from watching these trades. And they were good setups, so it wasn't a matter of like me taking a setup that wasn't good or didn't meet my criteria, but it just failed. And that happens even when you take the best setup, the highest probability setups, they can fail, and that's why we use stop losses. So you know, there are no such thing as a sure thing or 100% guaranteed winning trade. So here is CLPS. This had just popped up on that active volume list, and it was up. I think now it's probably down, but let's see. Whoops. Let's go to that screener. Let's see if it's still here. CLPS, it's way down here now. It was somewhere in the middle. I probably caught it like around this area when it popped up, because I was a bit distracted by a phone call about a meeting I have later. But anyway, so it popped up there. I put it on my list. And I did take into account, okay, I might have missed the entry because I was distracted, but later on I looked at the time of the call, and there's no way at this point that it was up on that active list, so I really don't think I missed it. I think it popped up somewhere on this candle. So my first entry would have been for the break of this red candle. And at this point I did miss that entry, but if it comes down, because it hasn't hit my profit target, if it comes down and comes back to that break of that candle, I can still get in, and that's what I do. I'll show you that. Whoops. Let's see, try to get the actual time that I hit the key. So here's coming back down, and there I trigger my hotkeys. I'm trying to get in where I would have for the break of that candle. I got in a little bit lower. I think it would have been 516 or something. So I got in a little bit lower, which if the trade worked out, that would go against me, because that means my 2-hour target would be quite a bit lower. But you know, it is what it is. There's no such thing as a perfect trade. So you can only do your best and follow your plan and your strategy. And then once you're in the trade, just stick to your rules. My rules say that once I'm in the trade, nothing else matters. I have to stick to the 2-hour all or nothing plan, which says that whatever my risk is, my profit target is twice that risk. So my risk is based off of my entry the low of the previous candle to my entry usually, and that was 504. So that's 1R, 504 to 512, and then my 2R target is 528. Now at this point, I don't have to do anything with this trade. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to watch it. I could get up because I have those bracket orders out. It's going to take care of itself. I'm only trading with one share because I'm test trading this new screener criteria. I've been test trading these patterns for a long time, so I already know the patterns work. But now I'm doing this, in the market open with this new screener with Webull 5.0. So it makes sense to test trade this stuff, prove it with 100 trades, and then I can increase my position size. I'm also trying to show you guys that in order to find out if any trading system that you know of or that you're developing or someone else tells you works, you don't have to jump in with your full position size and start trading it. You can and should trade it with one share for at least 100 trades and prove it to yourself that it's profitable, and then increase your position size. Otherwise, you're just gambling. All right, so there I get stopped out. And it gets stopped out exactly where I want to, so that's a good thing. 504, I think you can see down here, filled at 504. So now my plan and my strategy says that as soon as I get stopped out of a trade, as long as the ABCD pattern hasn't failed, I have to look for the next entry. So I just hovered over where it starts, that ABCD pattern, but let me pause it and show you. So here is point A, there's B, and there's the pullback. Actually, sorry, here is A, here's B, and that's the pullback. That's the one that we entered on. So this is point C, and then I enter for the break of that 1 minute candle there. And then D would be wherever, the pattern ends up. And unfortunately, it ends up kind of being a false breakout. So this is no longer point C. So it kind of, in a way, resets and becomes A, B, and then now I'm waiting for C to form. And as long as this thing doesn't pull back below point A, I can take a trade, which is always for the break of a 1 minute candle. So that's what I'm looking for now, is for the next entry. Each entry you take, the probability of the trade working out should increase up to the point where, if it gets below point A, then it's not a good idea to keep trying. And I only allow myself to do that up to 3 times. If I get 3 losses in a row, then I'm done. Unless I've had other losses in the day, then I don't do that. But okay, so here is the break of the next 1 minute candle. You can see I'm hovering over this. The high is 510, so I'm looking for 511 or more. So watch the little price bubble over here. There's 512, and you can see it just kind of like ran up real quick. But all you can do is, as soon as you see anything higher than your entry, you just hit your hotkeys and you hope for the best. And usually it works out pretty well. That's not really a lot of slippage. If I wanted, I think 511 or 512. So 2 cents on a $5 stock is nothing. On a $1 stock, that would be 2%. So it's like 0.2% on this stock, I believe. Sorry, no, it would be 0.4%, I think. Anyway, it's very low. So let's keep going here. So again, I get stopped out on that trade, no big deal. Small loss there. And then now, again, my plan says that I need to look for the next entry. Of course, the other rule is it can't be past 10 a.m., and it's not yet. So I'm still watching this, looking for the third entry. And I'm noticing, okay, here's point A of the ABCD pattern. If it falls below that level, then I am not going to look for any more trades. So I mark out that line in just a second here. It's at 480, so I just put that red line because now it's coming down close to point A. If it breaks that line, then it doesn't matter whether it was 10 a.m. or not. I am not looking for any more entries on this stock. In order for me to take any more trades on a stock like this, then it would have to come back all the way up to its previous high, which was up here, that 525, break through that, then pull back. Then I could look for an entry, but that's obviously not going to happen on something like this, but that's what it takes. So there you can see it broke point A. So now this is basically a failed ABCD pattern, and I can't look for any more trades. And it doesn't really matter at this point because it's 10 a.m. But I still kept watching it, not in the hopes of getting an entry or anything like that. I'm done with trading. But I was thinking that if it is going to reverse, which I don't do reversals, that's what this would be. If it is going to reverse, then it would happen right here. It would probably break out through that candle and go up. but that's a reversal trade, and those have much lower probability of working out. So I just mark it out on the chart just to kind of like test it for fun, to see what would happen. And of course, you always think as soon as you've hit your stop out limit or your trading time session that everything is now going to magically work out. So sometimes it's kind of funny to either prove that or disprove that, and that's what I'm doing right here. I'm plotting where my entry would have been, and as soon as I get ready to put up my stop loss level, it stopped out anyway. So that would have been another failed trade. So that's why you have to have a cutoff, of either I only take 3 losses and then I stop trading, or I stop trading at 10 a.m. That's it, because most of the early morning momentum is gone at that point. As long as there's a reason behind why you're stopping your trades, then you shouldn't really look back or worry about it. Even if that trade did work out, it would just be kind of like, oh wow, that's lame, that sucks. But either way, it was time for me to stop trading based on my trading plan, and that's all that really matters. So the only other thing I did after that was adjust my swing trades, which have nothing to do with the day trading, but I just had the video still running, so I moved my stop loss up to the 50 MA. So anyway, that was it for the video. And let's take a look at the spreadsheet really quickly. So this is today's trades. Have to turn in a 0% win rate today. So obviously that brings the win rate way down. It was up around 80-something%, I think, and now it's down to 55. But that's because we've only done this a few days. So any changes are going to make a big change in the average. But it's still way above break even. Break even is 33%. So it's still extremely profitable. And the number of actual trades that I've taken, which is 6, I've had 3 wins. So we're right at 50%. And without the error trade the other day, the METX, we're at 60%. So this is basically what the plan itself is doing, and this is kind of what I'm doing with my errors included. So that's that, and then I'll just scroll through and show you each. Actually, it looks like I'm missing a trade. Oh, geez. I could have swore. Oh, no, wait, where is it? There it is. I'm sorry about that. Yes, there's trade 2 right there. I thought I only had the 1 trade in there. Okay, so you could see both trades in there. The total actual money loss for those 2 trades was only 25 cents. So you could see the beauty of trading 1 share is, win or lose is not going to make a big dent into your account. And in fact, actually, real money-wise, day trading just after these 6 trades were in the green, almost $4, which is pretty cool when you're not trying to make any money with this. I'm just trying to collect data. So if you look at my last testing that I was trying to get to 100 and I stopped because of the screener criteria was flawed, we spent $1.04 in all those trades. 45 trades cost me $1.04, so I've already made that back and then some with these test trades. But again, that's not the point of this, is not to make money yet. It's just to test it and make sure that it's profitable with a win rate better than 33%, hopefully quite a bit higher than that. So let me know if you have any questions about these trades or the plan or the way I use Webull or any of that stuff, and I will try to help you as much as I can in the comment section. So as always, go into every single trade with a plan and follow it. Always take your stop losses no matter what. Honor your profit target, and in the long run, you should be green. Take care.